Hello. Good evening. Hi, everybody. Sophie here with my regular Monday Facebook Live. You're welcome. If you are new to my Facebook Lives, it's great to see you here. Whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook, it's good to have you. I'm here pretty much every Monday, as all you lovely regulars know. And sometimes I have guests. Very often I have guests. And in fact, next week I've got a wonderful guest. So, always put a little reminder, set a reminder in your calendar so that you have that there, or your phone, or wherever you have that, so that you don't miss any upcoming Facebook Lives. Stephanie! Oh, it's lovely to see you. Amazing. Kerry, it's fantastic to see you too. Oh gosh, twice in a week, Kerry. That's even more pleasure. Nan, hello. Marie, hello from Astoria. So ladies, what I wanted to just touch on tonight, Cheryl, oh my gosh, so many of my lovely ladies. Susie, hello. Leah, hello. So, let me see, where are we here? Oh, that's odd. I was going to actually put this up as a little comment here, as a little sort of banner. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So this is what we're going to be talking about very briefly tonight, because I had 2 questions last week in my mail bag, and they were basically along the same lines. And the questions were, is it better to eat small meals and snacks frequently when it comes to maintaining my ideal weight, either losing weight or maintaining my ideal weight? So that was basically the gist of the 2 questions I got. And I love your questions. So if you have questions, you can pop them in the, Facebook, the Healthy Living and Weight Loss for Women Over 40 Facebook group. And if you're not in that Facebook group, if you're watching from YouTube or whatever, make sure you join that group. It's called, just going to see the comments here. It's called Healthy Living and Weight Loss for Women Over 40. All us women over 40 gather in that group. Hi, Christina. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Barbara. And, it's a lovely, lovely place to be. And whether you're on my YouTube channel or in that group or on Facebook, it is nice because I just, so often on social media, this kind of age group of 40 plus, and a lot of us are in our 50s or 60s or whatever, or even above. It's an age group that we kind of just get, oh, it's kind of you over there. And it's not us over there. It's us. We're here. We've arrived. This is the best time of our lives. This is it. This is like when we get to thrive, not just survive, but thrive. And I'm a great believer, as you know, and a great advocate for yes, you can. Yes, you can absolutely thrive and literally live your best ever life in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. Oh, have I not got sound? Has anybody else not got sound? Uh-oh. Will you let me know if anybody hasn't got sound? If I'm just talking and you haven't got sound, that would be really very strange. Somebody let me know, please, in a comment. I'm worried that my mic isn't on. Anybody else? Can anybody else hear me? Oh, Stephanie, great, thank goodness. Jill, I think it's maybe a problem on your end, my love. Thank you. Okay, Anna, great. Hello, great, thank you. All right, so ladies, so I want to answer this question. Oh, yes, you have sound. Okay, so I think it's you. It's definitely you, my darling Jill. No, it's you, Jill, because everybody else can hear me. Don't make me paranoid, Jill. I'm like, oh my gosh. All right, so this is why I want to answer this question. So again, I'm just going to reiterate. Here is the question, or there were 2 different questions, but it boils down to this. Is it better to eat small, frequent meals when it comes to either losing weight or maintaining my ideal weight? And the answer is basically, as a nutritionist and as somebody who's a weight management specialist, is no, it is not better. It's actually a myth. So a lot of the time we hear, oh, it's better and you've got to just, be fully loaded with snacks all the time and just keep munching and grazing and stave off hunger and everything else. Good, thank you. But not the case. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why. Number one reason why is, and this is the biggest reason, is that if you're constantly eating and grazing, and this is really something that has only just really happened over the last, maybe, I'm going to say the last 60 years, 70 years, because before then it was much more typical that we would sit down and eat regular meals, right? You'd sit down and eat like probably 3 meals a day or 2 meals a day or whatever. And that was it. I remember when I was growing up, shows my age, I'm 56, going to be 57 this year. I remember my mum would be like, literally, kitchen's closed. After lunch, kitchen's closed. After dinner, kitchen is closed. And that really meant that's it. You're not coming in here for anything more. My mum would be like, I'm not cooking anymore. I'm not doing any. But also, we weren't so kind of obsessed with this sort of snack culture. We just weren't. And the thing that I found was, and I don't know if you can identify with this, if you're the same age as me, is, we allowed ourselves to get hungry. We got hungry. And it was like, oh my God, I'm starving. I'm ready for lunch. I'm hungry. I'm ready for dinner. And for you ladies that have worked with me in my program, my coaching program, beautiful Cheryl has, and I want to see if there's anybody else who's on here. I think it's just Cheryl who's on tonight. And Kerry, Kerry is Kerry and Cheryl, because you've worked with me, you've done my Ignite program, is that we honor our hunger signals. We learn the difference between brain hunger and body hunger. But how can you learn the difference between brain and body hunger if you're feeding yourself all the time? You just can't. So you never allow your body to be naturally, healthily hungry. And our body is designed to be hungry, to have healthy hunger signals. Now, obviously, there's a difference between gnawing, like, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry, I'm going to eat everything that isn't bolted down in the room. Obviously, I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about hunger like, I'm hungry. My mouth is salivating. My belly's growling a little bit. And I'm ready to eat. And I'm ready to eat food, like real whole food. And there's a big difference. And again, ladies who have worked with me intensively in coaching know this, don't you, Cheryl and Carrie, is there's a big difference between eating, again, brain hunger is about going and eating foods that you're craving, and particular foods, and body hunger, which is where you just eat. You'll eat what's there, or you'll go to your fridge and you'll whip up something because you're just hungry and you need to eat food. And I'm all about, and if those of you haven't seen if any of you haven't seen my masterclass who's watching this live stream, please do, where I lay out the 5 shifts that I give my beautiful clients like Cheryl and like Carrie to really basically find and maintain their ideal weight, which is exactly what these 2 ladies have done over quite a long length of time. And one of those shifts is, to eat the foods that your body craves, not to eat the foods that you crave, but to eat the foods that your body craves. And that's one of the really important shifts. So if you want to know what all the other 5 shifts are, definitely watch that masterclass. And I'll just put it in there actually right now in the chat. So that's really, really important. So it's so important. So let me know, ladies, do you allow yourself to be hungry? Let me know in the chat right now. Let's get in the comments right here. Wow, Carrie! Oh my gosh, Carrie! Gotta have you on a live. Carrie, we've got to have you on a live stream. So Carrie and Cheryl actually even longer, I believe, right, Cheryl? It's even longer for you. But that is absolutely fantastic. I am so proud of you. So Carrie is 1 year later. She did my program a year ago, and yes, we've got to get you on a live, Kerry. And Kerry has been eating this beautiful way, allowing herself to be hungry, sticking to it 100% to everything that I teach in my program. And she's just thriving. She's becoming a health coach. She's just on fire and beautiful and dialed down her everything. You know, she's all her risk for disease. Kerry, you have to let everyone know how you feel. Oh, Kerry, you are so sweet. And Patricia's on. Oh, my God. Patricia, another one of my lovely clients, right? And Patricia's been doing it a while, too. Patricia, we're talking tonight about how eating small, frequent meals. I had questions last week from a couple of women saying, is it better to eat small, frequent meals for weight loss and weight management? And my overriding answer to that is no, it's not. And you would know why. Patricia's another beautiful lady who's done my program and has lost a ton of weight. And honestly, Patricia looks completely like a completely different woman from the woman who started. And yes, so Patricia, as you know, I'm preaching to the choir now with you ladies who have worked with me, is that no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for so many different reasons. But the first one is that it is natural for your body to feel hungry. And unless we allow our body to feel hungry, we're never going to know those and understand those hunger signals that are very, very important. And also, I think you ladies, Patricia and Kerry, who are on, and anyone, it's Patricia and Kerry and Cheryl who are on, doesn't it feel good, ladies, and anybody else, to feel hungry? It's like feeling that good kind of hunger. It's like feeling that really good kind of tired. You know, when you feel really just naturally tired from a day well spent, and you've been exercising, you've worked really hard, and you're just tired, not burned out tired, but I'm just physically tired and just want to fall into bed and get a really good night's sleep. And it's that same sort of thing. These are natural signals. My body's tired and I need to sleep. My body's hungry and I need to eat. So that is my number one reason why it is not a good idea to be grazing and snacking all day long. Yes, 2 meals a day. Yeah. And I think, also it's interesting that now we almost are in that culture where, as mothers as well, I remember when I raised my daughter, my daughter's almost 20 now, so we're talking 20 years ago. But I remember being kind of amazed at the amount of snacks that it was required to wheel my daughter around with, because I hadn't really been raised in this way. You'd go out and take your kid out in a stroller or a pram or whatever. In England it's called a pushchair, and you just go for a walk. And then suddenly it was like the culture that I was raising my child in here was however many years later, 36 years later, was you cannot go out without baggies of goldfish and snacks and this and that, and she's got to be constantly eating it all the time, right? Much like our kids now have to be constantly have an iPad with them all the time to be able to survive. Like, God forbid that child gets hungry or has to be bored for a hot second. So I'm all for, yes, allow yourself to be bored because that fosters imagination. Yes, allow yourself to be hungry because that fosters a hunger for real beautiful food, and all of that. And allow yourself, tired is sometimes a really good thing. I would say, Brittany, it's not a one size fits all. So I'm going to actually just pop up your question right here. So Brittany said, do you recommend having 2 or 3 meals a day? I'm fine with 2, but worry I should be eating 3. No. If you're fine with 2, just eat 2. If you want 3, eat 3. The ladies that work with me on my program, we have a certain way of doing things. So, we just have a slightly different way of doing things because we move in a different rhythm, and we do some intermittent fasting and whatever. And that often changes along the course of the journey. Don't you find, ladies that have worked with me, that you start off maybe with 3 meals a day, and then almost everybody ends up with probably 2 good meals a day, and then, the smoothie in the morning. So so it does change. Let's see. Yeah, and Maureen, you said the same. Okay, listen, I just want to pull this up here. So Kerry, I feel amazing. I'm an 8-year breast cancer survivor. So Sophie helped me so much with my mindset and treat my body well. But that's congratulations, Kerry. It's absolutely beautiful, beautiful to see you thriving. Surviving and thriving by feeding your body in this beautiful, beautiful way, which is, the best gold standard for disease prevention. And you must feel so good about that, Kerry, that that's what you're doing, and now helping other women to do that. So it's absolutely beautiful. Well done. Okay, yeah, and oh yes, and don't need snacks. Kerry said absolutely does not need snacks, exactly. So the other thing that is kind of interesting is, some of these programs for weight loss programs, and I'm talking about the programs that are like the Jenny Craig, the Slim Fast. I don't know if it's called Medifast anymore. Octavia, give me some others, some of you ladies that you've probably heard of, maybe some of you have even tried. But I'm talking about the programs where you have shakes that, that they give you, these powders, and meals, and they give you these meals or bars. Often you're subsisting on shakes and bars. And then you add in, a few very high protein meals. Now, the problem with that is, again, it's like they're almost encouraging you just to eat, little and often, which I don't think is the best thing necessarily. But very interestingly, with many of those programs, they also will sell you tons of snacks as well. Because why? Because how do I even get into this? I'm going to do a whole YouTube video on this. Because you're eating these foods, as in the shakes and the bars, that aren't really nourishing you. It's not whole food. Your body doesn't recognize it as whole food. So you're not nourishing every cell of your body. And if you're not nourishing your body, you're going to be hungry. So you're going to get hungry. And I've spoken to many women who have done one of those kind of diets or pro-food programs or whatever they're called, and they've been famished. I mean, like, oh my gosh, I've got it because it's portioned out and it's a little bar or whatever. And they're absolutely starving. And then, of course, well, what do you need? You've got a snack in between. You can't just eat that because you're just going to be miserable. And then they send you the snacks. And if you look at the snacks on some of these programs, they're not healthy snacks. I mean, I'm amazed when I look at the ingredients on some of these. We're talking about corn syrup and cornstarch and additives and, artificial flavorings. And it's just like you're eating these kind of empty calories. And so again, that mindset of those food diet delivery systems it's just not going to help you. It's not going to help you because you're going to have the wrong kind of hunger. And it's also a kind of guilt hunger as well. I don't know if any of you out there have ever tried any of those, but bless you, because you're eating these, you're drinking the shake, you're having the bar, and you're like, and I'm starving, so there's something wrong with me. And so, oh gosh, I should have these snacks and whatnot. And then you're kind of picking and snacking and whatnot. So the whole thing is it's unnatural. It's just not natural for your body. So my approach, as you ladies know who have worked with me, is let's follow our body's natural cues. Our body knows what to do. Our body is a natural, self-healing, miraculous organism. Now, granted, if you've been eating poorly for many, many years through no fault of your own, because it's what the culture tells us to eat and everything else, then it might be that your body might have to, and mind and brain, because 80% of it is mindset, needs to go through a shift and it needs to go through a change until you get to that beautiful new normal where your body experiences natural hunger and wants to eat beautiful, healthy foods, and your taste buds have adjusted and whatnot. So it does, it does take time. So you have to be patient with yourself, and it takes a tremendous amount of mindset shift, transformation all the time, shifting, because we've been, we've grown up, many of us, with so many deleterious beliefs about, dieting and weight loss and what we need to do and what we should do and what we shouldn't do, that it's sort of confusing. And a lot of that we have to get rid of. So really, that's just what I wanted to really get into tonight, is how, Kerry, I know somebody on Octavia and was told it's okay, the drink like a monster. I can't really, I don't understand quite what that was, Kerry. But yes, and women, get very, very, very hungry. Look, here's the other thing as well, is that, and this, ladies, goes for anything that you would ever try to do as a weight loss or weight management strategy that doesn't deal with your mindset. Because again, it's just a matter of time, isn't it? You'll do it for as long as you're getting those meals or those shakes or those bars, but then what happens afterwards? What happens when you stop having those in your house or ordering them, or they get sent to you? Well, you're left with you. You're left with you, with your mindset, with the food cravings, with all of the mindset and beliefs and limiting beliefs and everything that you've ever had. So you're just taking that with you to the next program or the next, what I call, you ladies know I call Band-Aid. So honestly, you're better off. I know sometimes these can seem like quicker, easier fixes, but it's always going to come back and bite you. And so the best thing to do is always the natural thing to do. So just to sort of finish this off and put a pin in this tonight, this topic is absolutely the best thing that you can do is to just try to eat meals, 2 meals a day or 3 meals a day, maybe have a snack somewhere in the afternoon if you need to, be very intentional about that snack, very conscious and intentional, what it is and whatnot. We all get into this in a very sort of deep way in my program of what that is. And, we don't have to be obsessed with protein either. There's a sort of obsession with protein, and actually very often for that snack, you might need some complex carbs because that's your body's preferred source of fuel. And so that's probably what you will need over this high protein that, everybody's obsessed with. But that's, you want the second meal effect, which is what you're going to get from, a beautiful complex carb. So that's the best case scenario. But the main message that I wanted to get through tonight is allow yourself to be hungry, to get hungry and really experience what that feels like. And, and if you're somebody that really suffers from food cravings and comfort eating, or you're a binge eater or whatever, then there's a process with this. It's not as simple as that. It honestly isn't just as simple as, I'm going to just honor my body's natural hunger cues. You might need some help. You might need some coaching. And if you do, reach out to me. At the very least, watch my masterclass. I've put it in the comments here. And then you can sort of see my overall philosophy, and then, possibly reach out to me. But watch that first, because I want to be sure that you sort of jive with my philosophy before you did reach out to me. But if that's you, then you may need some help. And we can't, most of us, it's very hard to do it on our own. But for those of you ladies who are in my community who are rocking along and you've been eating your plant-based and eating, this way, Maureen, I know you have, and, Barbara, and many of you have been doing really, really well for a while now, then just keep in mind that to listen and to honor your natural hunger, and to know that that's okay and that it's actually a good thing, not necessarily a bad thing. So I hope that helps for tonight. I am going to disappear now. Well, Kathleen, go look at my masterclass and maybe look at that and consider reaching out. You might need a bit of help and coaching with that. Nancy, I get so hungry at times that I feel very weak. Yeah, and that's not what I'm talking about. That sort of hunger you would want to look at, because that might mean that you're not eating enough. And very often, ladies, if you get so hungry in between meals, it may be three things. You're not eating enough, which is why I don't do portion control. It might be that you're not eating the right kind of food, so you're not eating enough complex carbs. And overall, three, it might mean that you're not really nourishing your body and your cells with all the nutrients that you need. So that just watch out for that a bit, Nancy, that you make sure that you're really feeding and nourishing yourself, because that's not what I'm talking about. If you are like, I'm weak, I'm going to eat everything that isn't bolted down, I'm feeling dizzy, well, that's a bridge too far. That's not healthy hunger. That's not good hunger. But there is that beautiful middle ground where I'll be sitting at my desk, and then it'll be like around Patricia and Kerry and Cheryl, I'm sure you feel this, or in the evening, and I'm like, ooh, you know what? My mouth is like slightly, watering, and it's like, I want to eat. It's time to eat. I need to eat. I need to put a beautiful, healthy, bowl or salad or meal or soup or whatever it is. And it really doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's healthy. As long as it's healthy. But it's not like, I've got to eat a piece of pizza, or I've got to eat some chocolate, or I've got to have some ice cream. That's brain hunger, and that goes into a whole different category, which if that's you and you find yourself in that category a lot, then you might need some help. All right, ladies, I love you. I'm going to go because I've got to go take my doggies for a walk. My husband is away. He's in Georgia as we speak, probably eating amazing black-eyed peas and all those beautiful, his mum and dad like harvest literally beans and peas and everything from their garden. And so he's lucky enough to be sitting there right now. It's the first trip he's done in like, oh my gosh, like well over a year. So it's like, oh my gosh, it was almost like getting on a plane and doing all this. So I don't know if you ladies are all getting to that. Things are beginning to open up and we're beginning to travel and everything. So it was like a real milestone today that he got on that plane. But I'm so happy he's with his parents, and his mom and dad his dad is 93, going to be 94 this year. And his mom is going to be 90, and they're both in really good health because they keep themselves super, super healthy. So it's very, very inspiring. So I'm full of gratitude. I'm actually feeling full of gratitude, and my cup runneth over this evening just because I know that he's there, so happy being with them, and they're all able to love and connect. And we're so grateful because I know that's not been the case for so many of you, and God bless you in prayers if that hasn't been the case for you this year. But anyway, I just wanted to share that because I feel so blessed and grateful. All right. Okay. Good, Margie, been traveling and living life. Good. Glad to hear it. All right. See you all next week, and I have a guest on next week, a special guest. So set a reminder on your phone this time next week, and I'll be here with a very, very special guest. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.